Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty.
Hi there.
Democracy. Our way of life.
Oh, hello.
But freedom doesn't come free.
No! Sweet liberty! No!
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Hello super citizens of the Origin system. If y'all could leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because democracy needs your help to recruit more Helldivers. Democracy is in trouble, and with your support, we can easily destroy all those who oppose our freedom and democratic ways. Life, liberty, and justice for all. Failure to comply will result in any C-01 related privileges being revoked at your democracy officer's discretion. Okay, enough of that. I would like to leave a special thanks to all my friends that helped in making the intro, and a special shout out to Seijin Khan, since I wouldn't have the resources or skills for Captura to attempt that intro without him. Now, welcome to the Hellban build, a build that required me to make a third Vauban because I might have an addiction of loving democracy. But how can you dispense enough democracy to free the galaxy? Well, with Hellban, you sure can. I wanted to make a build that takes advantage of the synergy between Topaz Archon shards and Photon Strike, so this will be a late game build using resources all the way up to the Jade Shadows update. So if you aren't there yet, you can use it as a guideline or a goal for your own Vauban builds. But let's take a deep dive look at Photon Strike. Photon Strike is a high burst damage ability that strictly deals blast damage. It doesn't have a large amount of range, but it can be cast while shooting, reloading, and moving. It can also be cast while in the air, but you are unable to do any other action due to the unique throwing animation. Its lack of range might seem like a deterrent for the ability, but the unique thing about Photon Strike is that its damage cone is a cylinder going up and down just like Bastille, meaning you are covering more ground than you think. The blast also goes through terrain and has a small amount of status chance, so you can proc blast on enemies. The problem with that is, the status chance is incredibly low. I haven't found anything online that says what the chance is, but from what I can tell, it's less than 1%, so it's not worthwhile to invest into that. When cast, Vauban will throw a beacon in front of him. Upon hitting the ground, or after 1.5 seconds after being thrown, the Photon Strike will hit the beacon. It will also track itself towards the nearest vortex, or the first vortex when close enough. The ability also has scaling damage. What scaling damage means, every 10 levels an enemy has, the damage will be multiplied that many times. So if an enemy is level 200, it is multiplied 20 times. Photon Strike also comes with an augment to help enhance your democracy dispensing capabilities. Photon Repeater. When hitting 5 enemies in one cast, the next cast of the ability will be free and you get a double strike. This free cast can also proc the augment, but the augment has a hidden internal cooldown of about 1 second. Now with all that democratic knowledge given to you, let's see how we can spread your liberty everywhere. Let's go over the Forma format before we get into the build itself. You can ignore the Umbral Forma on there. It's leftover from testing on previous variations. I find this setup to be most comfortable, letting you build out a health tank version and a shield gate version. Let's go over the Archon shards first. We are running 1 Tau Amber for casting speed, 3 Tau Crimsons for ability strength, and 1 Tau Topaz for health on blast kills. Casting speed helps with setting up your abilities and how quickly you can throw out multiple Photon Strikes. The Tau Crimsons are mandatory for the setup, helping you get to the correct strength percentage you need for Bastille. But let's talk about the Topaz shard. Topaz shards are seen as the worst shards to use since the bonuses don't seem that good, but let's look at it from a different perspective. What does this shard do that other shards don't? As an Archon shard, it can slot in as a vitality mod. With a few blast kills, you will have a little more health than you would with a vitality mod once fully stacked up on a Tau, and on a regular one, you're only a little less. A Tau Topaz also holds the same amount of value as 2 Tau Azures slotted in for health, saving you room in your Archon shard slots. This also saves you a mod slot on the build, giving you more room to put in mods that can help enhance Vauban's capabilities. So let's take a look at the health tank version, a more casual setup for Hellban. I went ahead and replaced Tesla Nervos with Citrine's Helmet Fractured Blast. This ability, along with Equilibrium, will help keep your energy sustained, especially with the large amount of range you have on the build. This gives enemies a chance to drop extra health orbs and energy orbs when killed. We also have Photon Repeater to help mitigate some of the energy usage since the build is running Blind Rage. We also have Precision Intensify, Molt Augmented, and the 3 Tau Crimsons to give you enough ability strength for your Bastille to fully strip enemies in 3 seconds. And with the massive amount of range you have, you can fully strip multiple enemies constantly. We also have Adaptation to help with survivability and Prime Sure-Footed because freedom doesn't go down easily. But if you don't have Prime Sure-Footed, there's multiple options you can use, like Handspring, regular Sure-Footed with Fortitude, and the Unaru passive. Now, you might have noticed that we're not running Flow in this build. That's because we are using Arcane Battery. This gives you an energy pool based on your total armor. Since Bastille gives you 1000 armor when you are standing inside of it, you go from a 288 energy pool all the way up to 588, saving you another mod slot for the build and taking advantage of the playstyle you will be using. This passive armor lasts as long as you're standing in the Bastille, as well as 16 seconds after leaving. If you lose the armor bonus, you just toss Fractured Blast at some enemies to prime them for energy, and toss a Bastille to regain the armor almost instantly, since armor gain is based on ability strength. For our aura, we are running Enemy Radar, because the enemies of democracy can't hide from the all-seeing eye of justice. It also helps with identifying large enemy groups on your minimap. If you find that you don't have 3 Tau Crimson Shards, you can instead make do with either 2 regulars or 1 Tau along with Corrosive Protection. That will still keep your Bastille at a 3-second full strip, and you now have 1 to 2 free shard slots as well. For the Shield Gate version, we have a few mods swapped out, but the build stays relatively the same. Adaptation is swapped with Catalyzing Shields, Enemy Radar with Brief Respite, and Photon Repeater is swapped with Flow because casting a free ability doesn't allow you to regain shields. We are still running Arcane Battery, but this can be swapped out with another Arcane of your choice. But since Arcane Battery and Prime Flow give you a nice comfortable 1004 energy pool to spam democratic Photon Strikes with, since Blind Rage tanks your efficiency. But for us to spread democracy, we also need a companion to help us out. What better companion than the brainwashed infested we hunt today, the Panzer Vulpaphyla, capable of spreading the infectious word of managed democracy. But really, the sole goal of the Panzer is to spread viral for us, helping increase the damage of Photon Strike, while also supporting us in multiple ways. Martyr Symbiosis acts as an emergency health gate. Tenacious Bond, along with Bite, helps increase our crit damage for our weapons, but also our Flechette Orbs when we want to use them. Synth Deconstruct for another source of health orbs for more potential energy, and Hunter Recovery to help keep our health topped up passively. Viral Quills and Panzer Devolution are incredible abilities for the Panzer to help you destroy undemocratic scum and keep itself alive. But Photon Strike isn't the only way to dispense liberty. We have guns for that too, so here's some recommendations with builds. For our classic assault rifle capable of dishing out freedom, we have the Gotva. I find that going cold corrosive works best with the Gotva, but you can also go cold gas. Focusing on status chance and multi-shot is the best way to utilize the unique passive. Inflicting a status chance gives your next shot a 15% chance to be a red crit, so we stack a bit of critical damage to go along with that, and we don't focus on getting any crit chance. But we can't just liberate with an assault rifle. We also need a breaker shotgun, so the shotgun of choice is the Boar Prime Incarnon. I always loved the Boar Prime since I first got it. A strong, reliable, status-spreading shotgun that wreaks havoc, and that was before its Incarnon. With its Incarnon, it's that and a crit monster. I find this setup to be the most comfortable for me. You can run just about any element you want on this. It's very flexible. Corrosive, viral, pure heat, radiation cold that turns into radiation blast, and many more. For your secondary, I recommend the Atomos Incarnon. By itself, this weapon is an absolute monster. I have a heat setup for mine. focusing on status chance and multi-shot, along with Augur Pact to help you with the shield gate build. You will regen 73 out of 74 shields when casting Fractured Blast, basically making it a millisecond difference on your shield gate. Along with that, Secondary Fortifier is also here, giving you a second layer of survivability and to help against Eximus units being too undemocratic towards you. You'd think that having no damage arcane prevents the Atomos from dispensing hot justice upon your enemies, but quite the opposite. Your liberty will melt their face off, literally. And for the final recommendation, democracy demands that you put your fist forward for your people, and you will do just that with the Furax Wraith Incarnon. This melee weapon has quickly become one of my favorite melee weapons. This setup is a melee influenced build, but the really cool aspect about it is Amalgam Furax body count. This mod is insane. Not only does it give your secondary weapon 45% more fire rate, it makes the Furax proc blast on everything. Your frames will die if there are too many enemies being hit at once, clearing rooms in seconds. And also, with its unique ability when Incarnon, the heavy slams have a 90% heavy attack efficiency, letting you keep your combo multiplier when transforming, and superhero landing for that extra dose of democracy. So let's talk about some of the positives of the Hellban build. You'll have insane armor strip, massive CC, your damage potential skyrockets with enemy levels. Additionally, at a certain point in enemy levels, you can just use Photon Strike without armor stripping to kill enemies. You'll be giving yourself and your team a massive amount of armor quickly with all the range you have on the setup, and you'll be able to spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. And for negatives, it's a super late game build with some of the requirements it needs. The good thing is, a lot of it is super easy to earn once you reach the late game. They are also tradable too, and can be found fairly cheap on Warframe Market. Energy management is top priority, so don't get too trigger happy dispensing justice on enemies. Having such high range can also make specific situations difficult, but with proper knowledge and practice, you can figure out proper placements for the Bastion Vortex, helping you gain tile knowledge and understanding AI pathing. For gameplay tips, focus on playing around your Bastille. That is your primary survivability and utility, but also your energy pool too. Cast Fractured Blast every so often. It costs minimal energy, will help keep you and your team topped up on energy, and can be cast while moving. For ability rotations, toss a Bastille, then Fractured Blast once or twice, then Photon Strike everything to death. If you only had enough energy for a Bastille and Fractured Blast, then shoot them. Flechette Orb is still there and powerful as ever, helping you cover sections you can't be at, and help kill Acolytes faster. Or, you can focus on using Overdriver for extra damage towards enemies affected by CC, since it works for Photon Strike too. And, keep an eye on your radar as well. It will help you identify where enemies are being bunched up to unleash your full democratic power upon them. There we go. That's everything about Hellban. Now go spread your own democracy, bring liberty to the galaxy, and justice for all. Thank you all for watching. If y'all could leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell, it would be greatly appreciated. And of course, the fashion for you all. Want to know the best part about being a Helldiver? You don't need to be Vauban for it. Anyone can be a Helldiver, so just pick yourself some good shades of black and gray with yellow lines and you're good to go. And special thanks to my friends for helping out in the intro to get those amazing shots. And a special shout out to Seijin Khan. I wouldn't have the knowledge or capabilities to use Captura as well as I did on that intro without his help in multiple fronts. Also, keep an eye on him. He's making a truly harrowing experience for us. His link will be in the description below, along with a link to the channel Discord and my Twitch. So thank you all again for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all next time.